Welcome back to Hondukiville, and we're going to be mounting things. Oh no, it's not breakfast time. Well, at this point, this is only kind of a test fit, just to see what it looks like down the bottom there, because the spacers aren't quite the right. Well, I mean, first of all, they're not 10mm, so they're baggy as hell on the bolts, and they're not quite long enough either. It's close, but you can see there's a slight angle. The camera's not going to help with perspective, but there's a degree of inwardness to the actual mounts themselves, so you need some correct spacers, but that's kind of where it's going to be, what it's going to look like. Maybe not a spotlight, maybe we want it angled down towards the road. Yeah. So something like that. A little bit different for me, a little bit normal perhaps, but I think the light itself is interesting enough. So I think that's where it's going to go. We could put it lower if we flip these the other way round, but actually I kind of like that. Not sure. That'll be a total pain in the ass because there's lots of nuts and bolts involved in putting these on. None of which are very tight at the moment either. Anyway, you get the general idea. Let me know what you think. Matches our little speedo as well, doesn't it? So, talking of mounting, in order to mount the bike we need a seat, obviously, and we got so far with that the other episode, and we'll be pursuing that some more. I've drilled all the necessary holes for those spacers that live in between to fan it out at the back there, and yeah, we're going to be putting that together, seeing if it really works. Hopefully we'll get our bloody foot pegs back as well, and we can try mounting them. So what we're going to need here is one bolt that goes through just the one spacer down to the bottom level, and then another bolt that comes through the middle level and onto the top level. And all these holes hopefully kind of line up. I think they do. And again, as I think we discussed, obviously big hole for like a 12mm bolt for suspension, but it doesn't matter. You know, it's good. And there it is, all loosely bolted up. Yes, I know, it doesn't look any different from what it did before, but it's got bolts through it this time. So yeah, that kind of works. I suppose I'm going to have to kind of finish it off, aren't I? What do we think? Did I ask you that already? Oh no, that was the headlight. Please leave comments as to whether you like it or not. And next up is this sodding fuel tank, which you may or may not remember if you've been following. The cap didn't kind of work, so let's see if we can get that to work. How hard can it be? Anyway, no promises. Meantime, of course, I've forgotten what the issue was myself, but now I've found out again. So the cap itself fits on very nicely, actually, I have to say. It's a kind of funky little cap. The problem is that you can't get the key out once you... So that's the unlock position, where you can move it and then it comes off. But then when you go to lock it, in order to get the key out, I don't want to break it. Oh, there you go. It's tight. Oh well. Who needs bloody lockable fuel caps these days? But you have to, because otherwise you can't turn it, obviously. And it's that little doofer there. I mean, I guess you could just buzz that out and then it'd be end of problem. Anyway, it fits, so what the hell? Winner, winner. Chicken dinner. On the subject of dinner, if you'll excuse the spaghetti noodles hanging out the edge there, that's kind of roughly what? Yeah, it's kind of taking shape. Very nice. Next up, put all this stuff back, I suppose. Yes, the front brakes. Now we've semi decided on the headlamp situation. We've obviously got plenty of room to put the braking system T-junction thing back where we had it in the first place. I was debating mounting it off there, now that the light's here, because then it'll be hidden. But then none of this stuff would reach, and we'd have to go back to ordering some custom brake lines, which ain't a problem. Yes, I'm still reading the manual. No, not about the headlight, that's irrelevant. That's a standard one, isn't it? No, starter motor. Yeah. And just for your amusement, and mine if I'm totally honest, I rigged up the back light to see what that looks like. Oh, I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah. No, it doesn't mean I've finished the electrics. I just hooked it up to that little battery that I bought one time, which turned out to be very useful for such occasions. Yeah, so that looked pretty cool, but I think maybe it's a little bit long. Maybe I need to shave off a bit at the back. I don't know. Again, appreciate any comments. If you like it, it's always nice to hear compliments from people, and if you don't, then I guess you're entitled to your own opinion. And then I came up with an altogether simpler solution to the whole brake situation, I think. Yeah, so I was looking in my random springs and things box, which doesn't have any springs in anymore, and I remembered that I had these weird things, which actually is just an Allen. It's not even a bolt, but it's got an Allen head, that end, and it screws through there, as you can see. I don't know what they came off. Anyway, it's just a big spacer at the end of the day, and I think that's a rather nice, neat solution. I don't know why I didn't come up with it before. Maybe I did. Probably because it sticks out a bit. Anyway, it's a lot better than that bracket that I devised. So I think we're going to bolt it all up and make sure it fits, but I think it will. And yeah, back in a few. First off, let's get this out of the way. And what I've decided is we need slightly bigger spacers, so that's 16mm, so we need an 18mm, and we need it to fit a 10mm bolt. And then we need some countersunk. Yeah. Because we're already scratching that up. That's not good, is it? Anyway, we need a slightly countersunk. It doesn't matter what, really, but Allen bolts are nice. Did I say 10mm? I meant 8. Just like these boys, except shorter. So that bolt I had was almost perfect, but not quite. It's just a little bit long because of it was bottoming out. So I figured a lock nut underneath would probably be a good idea. So let's throw that in there. Really, that'll help. Just give me a little bit extra room, and it'll, of course, tie it in nicely. Somewhat of a jock strap. No, that says JCGK. Bloody perfect. Next up is my short little friend, and no, I'm not talking about David. So we've got an angle here, as we've discussed before, on the what the hell are these? Banjo thing fitting. We haven't on that end, so we've got to decide which works best, like we did on the calipers. So I'm pretty sure the angled end is going to work best like that, angled slightly towards the front, and if you have noticed, it'll be better to mount it on the other one, wouldn't it? Yeah. Alright, let's do that. And if you don't know by now, when it comes to a 50/50 choice, I usually get it wrong first time round. Right, there we go, let's start again. Have to say this little fitting is lovely because these twist round. Yeah, whereas these ones don't, they're fixed. That doesn't twist. This twists. Lovely. Very useful. Nice little fitting. So that's that, snugged up both ends with new washers, as you can see. Hopefully brake fluid tight. Not at this point. just snugged up, but we'll give it extra crank when we're all happy with everything. Let's get these boys on. And again, I had to use my friends the long-nosed vice grips to just hold the fitting itself down there at the right angle to get that in without, you don't want to cross thread this stuff. So yeah, job done. And we've still got our nice angle of dangle down there. And let's have a look at the other side. Yeah, nice angle of dangle down there. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, that is altogether a tidier solution all round. Yeah, like that. And then of course the light's going to be kind of here anyway. Yeah, much better. Jolly well done. Give myself a pat on the back. Problem number 347. While I was messing around up the front here, I thought I'd see what we're going to do about the clutch cable. So I've hooked it into the lever itself, and then trying to pull it into position. We just haven't got enough slack by quite a long way, as you can see. Got a few spares of these, as you can imagine, but they're all kind of standard, from the collar to the end. So that's a little bit longer, maybe, but not, I mean, we're way out. We're like 5 mil out, at least. So looking at the original lever, at least I think it is, it might be off the Suzuki, I don't know. But that's exactly 30 mil from the edge of where the cable fits to the edge of the doofer. And then you've got to allow another, 5 mil plus for the actual adjustment. 15 mil in this case. Our total there is completely upside down. It's L9E, or 37 mil, which should be enough, right? Good news is it wasn't seated quite as well as it could be at the business end, i.e. the clutch. So that gave me a couple more mil. Means we just have to take a couple of mil off here. With the aid of some karate. On the wood, obviously, we're going to use Mr. Kawasaki. And if you don't know who Mr. Kawasaki is, you need to watch some of my other videos. Anyway, there it is. We shaved a bit. Might not be enough, we'll see. Job done. Nicely. Thank you very much, Mr. Kawasaki. Not forgetting wood. You can't have enough little bits of crappy cut-offs of wood of various descriptions, widths and whatever. They just come in so handy. In the interest of which, please plant a tree. Planted several myself. This one stayed the same size for the last 10 years. It was just 2 sticks a week ago. That's impressive. Anyway, this is not Gardener's World, Mr. Stewart. You've tuned into the wrong channel. With that small victory, I think we'll call it a day for this episode. Around, we'll probably be finishing out that seat and some other bits and pieces. So if you made it this far, I'm sure you must have enjoyed it to some degree. So do give it a thumbs up. Do subscribe down here if you haven't already. And of course, encourage others to watch my lunacy.